week one of the fantasy football season, and here's the kicker rankings for the top 12 guys heading into week one. The first kicker, who else would it be than Justin Tucker of the Baltimore Ravens? Justin Tucker, we know he's one of the best kickers of all time here in the NFL, and each and every season he's pretty much the first kicker off the board in fantasy drafts. And this week he's got another good matchup at the Las Vegas Raiders on Monday Night Football. Obviously it's an indoor field. I think the Ravens are going to have many opportunities to kick field goals and score touchdowns. And Tucker, he puts up pretty much flex numbers sometimes at the kicker position. And once again, I think he has a big week here in the opener. Number 2, Younghoe Koo of the Atlanta Falcons. Koo, he was a surprise last season, and a guy who hit many 50-yarders for the Atlanta Falcons, and another guy who plays indoors, which definitely plays a good factor for kickers and fantasy football. And this week he's got the Philadelphia Eagles coming into town, and the Philadelphia Eagles, obviously we know they're not that great on defense. I think this game's going to be a shootout. I've been saying in other videos, talking about other players in that game, and it wouldn't surprise me to see Koo get a couple 30 or 50-yarders in this ball game, where he's going to get anywhere from 9 to 10 points in this game. We saw him hit a lot of deep ones last season, and I think in this one versus Philly, he'll hit a 50-plus yarder. And that's half the battle right there. If you could get a 50-yarder and a guy hit a 30-yarder and a couple extra points, that's a pretty big day at the kicker position. And I think Koo goes for that in this one. Number 3, Harrison Butker of the Kansas City Chiefs. So we know the Chiefs are a high-powered offense that can score a lot of points in a hurry. And Harrison Butker last season, he struggled, though, with extra points. But this season, I think he's going to be good as Butker. He's going to kick the football well through the uprights. And he's going to play a good role in this game, I think. The Cleveland Browns, they're not that great of a defense. And Butker, with this high-powered offense, he's going to get many opportunities. And I think he has good games, so I got him in number 3 at kicker. Number 4, Ryan Succop of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. So they versus a Dallas Cowboy defense that can't stop nobody, in my opinion, here in week 1. It's the home opener. It's at home, obviously, after winning the championship last year. And Succop, he's been a pretty solid kicker in his career. And the Bucs, they're going to be in the red zone early and often, in my opinion, in this ball game. So Succop, I think he could put up double-digit fantasy points easily. Is Succop. I think he could get double digits, like I mentioned here. They're going to be in the red zone a lot, in my opinion. They're going to play good football as the Bucs. And Succop, he could get a few 30, 40-yarders and a bunch extra points in this one. Number 5, Tyler Bass of the Buffalo Bills. So Tyler Bass came out of nowhere last season with Buffalo. And talk about a guy who's got a big boot and could kick long-range 50, 60-yard field goals. This is a guy that could do it. And this week he versus the Pittsburgh Steelers, who are a bend-but-don't-break type of defense when it comes into the red zone. So I could see many opportunities here for Tyler Bass, getting a few chances from deep with this Buffalo team. And you know, the Bills, they're at home. They want to get off to a good start. And they're going to get a lot of chances, I think, at least in the red zone. I don't think they're going to score a lot of touchdowns versus this Steeler defense. But I think Tyler Bass could go for 4 or 5 attempts at hitting field goals in this ball game. It definitely wouldn't surprise me. I could see it being type of a defensive battle a little in this one. And Bass, he's a good kicker. He's been one of the top-ranked kickers taken this season in fantasy drafts, and I think he has a good game in this one. So I got him at number 5. Number 6, Robbie Gould of the San Francisco 49ers. So the Niners, they got a cupcake matchup. Great Lions this week here. Another game indoors. Robbie Gould, one of the most accurate kickers in NFL history. And this 49er team, if they stay healthy this season, they're going to put points on the board, and Robbie Gould's going to be a big part of that. And I think in this game, Gould's going to get a few opportunities. He's going to get a bunch extra points as well. And I think he's got a great start and obviously an accurate kicker, where San Francisco, they're going to be in the red zone as well at Detroit early and often in this ball game. And I could see Robbie Gould easily hit double digits in this game for your kicker position. Number 7, Matt Prater of the Arizona Cardinals. So Pat Prater, I'm big on him this season. He goes to a team in Arizona that obviously has a bunch of weapons on offense, with Kyler Murray leading the pack, DeAndre Hopkins, Chase Edmonds, James Conner, A.J. Green over there in the full, Christian Kirk, and right here, I think they're going to get chances, a lot of chances at Tennessee. And to keep up with Tennessee this season, you're going to have to put a lot of points on the board with the high-powered offense they got over there with A.J. Brown, Julio Jones, and Derrick Henry. And right here, Prater, he's going to play 10 games indoor as well this season, but for this game, it's in Tennessee. And he's a guy with a big boot who could kick easily a 50-yarder in this ball game and get double-digit fantasy points as well, because I think Arizona is going to be in the red zone a decent amount of times in this ball game. And I think Matt Prater has a good fantasy day, so I got him in number 7. Number 8, Rodrigo Blankenship of the Indianapolis Colts. So they versus the Seattle Seahawks in this ball game, and this game could go either way. It could be a defensive matchup, in my opinion, or obviously a shootout. And right here, it's indoors in Indianapolis, which is always a great sign for a kicker. I know I sound like a broken record, but I'm stating the obvious here, and this is where you want to target. So Blankenship, he's a way better kicker at home than he was on the road last season in his rookie year here. And to keep up with Seattle, Indianapolis, they're going to have to put points on the board, and there might be a few attempts where they're going to try a deep 50-plus yarder in this game. And I know Blankenship, he's got that range. He kicked a few of them last season, and it wouldn't surprise me to see him hit a 50-yarder and a couple of extra points and field goals in this one. Number 9, Jason Sanders of the Miami Dolphins. So the Miami Dolphins go to New England. This game, I could see it kind of a defensive battle with two young quarterbacks going at it, with Tua Tagovailoa and obviously Mac Jones, who beat out Cam Newton for the starting job over there in New England. So right here, it could be a low-scoring game in the AFC East in this one, where it's going to be a lot of field goals I possibly could see in this one, where it's a 20-17 final or something, because this is going to be a close game. Every point's going to count, and I think the kick is going to play a huge factor for both sides in this one. And Sanders was one of the better kickers in fantasy football last season. But this week, I got him at number 9. I just like a couple of these guys a little bit better than him. But he's still a solid option this week to start a kicker. Number 10, Brandon McManus of the Denver Broncos. So the Broncos travel to the New York Giants here in week 1. And this Bronco team, I don't think they're going to punch a lot of touchdowns in the end zone in this game. The Giant defense, they improved last season. They held a lot of teams to field goals. And we know Brandon McManus, he has that big foot as well, where he could kick a 50-plus yarder easily in this ball game. So right here, a lot of kickers nowadays, they got the big range, they got the big boot, and this is good for fantasy. If you could get, 2 50-yarders in a game, that's 10 points right there off the bat for your kicker. And Brandon McManus, we know he's very capable of hitting multiple 50-yarders in a ball game. And in this one at the New York Giants, I could see this being a low-scoring ball game for both teams, where they rely on the kickers as well. So I think McManus, he could have a double-digit game, but I got him at number 10 here. Number 11, Matt Gay of the Los Angeles Rams. So the Rams, they should put up a lot of points this season with Matthew Stafford behind the helm, and still have two great receivers like they do in Cooper Kupp and Robert Woods, with a decent tight end in Tyler Higbee, and still a pretty solid running back, in my opinion, in Darrell Henderson, with Sony Michel to back him up, since Cam Akers is out for the season. But right here, Matt Gay is going to get many opportunities, I believe, here this season. And here versus the Chicago Bears, I could see the Bears defense bend but don't break the first few drives of this game, where they're going to have to settle for 3 points here as Los Angeles. So right here, Matt Gay, I think he has a solid game, and he definitely was a top 10 kicker drafted in most fantasy leagues this year because of the type of offense he's in and opportunities he's going to get. And the 12th and final kicker I got, Greg the Leg Zuerlein of the Dallas Cowboys. So let's be honest here, the Dallas Cowboys, if they have any chance of winning this ball game here versus the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, they got to put up a lot of points in this game. And I think they're even going to go out there and try a lot of long field goals if it's a 4th and long or whatever the case may be here. But to beat Tom Brady and the Buccaneers, Dak Prescott in this offense, they got to get in the red zone. They got to come away with at least 3 points most of the drives in this ball game. And I think Greg the Leg, the Cowboys, they're not going to have no fear to put him out there for a couple long-range field goals. So it wouldn't surprise me to see him have a lot of opportunities in this game. But last season, he missed a decent amount of field goals. And this season, let's see if he puts them through the uprights. But with the offense he plays in and with the type of game this could turn out to be, he just cracks the top 12 and number 12. And that's the top 12 kicker rankings heading into week 1 here, the fantasy football season.